Hello there and welcome again to Election Brief. I am Araba Kumsin. In exactly 25 days, Ghanaians will be going to the polls to decide who they think is better placed to run the country. And I'm talking about the presidential polls on December 7th. That's our focus as we begin Election Brief today, because some of the candidates are leaving nothing to chance as they campaign vigorously around the country. Let's start with the governing NDC's John Dramani Mahama, who today began a campaign tour of some parts of the Greater Accra region. He is expected to commission several projects embarked by his administration over the next 3 days as he campaigns in the region. Joseph Akabley is following the president and he joins us on the line. Good afternoon to you, Joseph.
Good afternoon, Araba.
Okay, so tell us where the president has been. Is this rigorous campaigning or just commissioning of projects?
Well, essentially, it has to do more with commissioning of projects, but as you expect, I mean, definitely as president seeking re-election, you expect once a while for him to ask the electorate to make him their choice come December 7th. So first and foremost, we started from the Kutuka International Airport, where the president commissioned the Gold Coast Refinery Limited, and that is, we are told, is the second largest refinery in Africa, which is located at the Kutuka International Airport. If I can say a bit more about this particular a refinery that was commissioned by the president some few hours ago. We understand that it has the capacity to refine raw dust and scrap gold and other precious material up to a capacity of 180 metric tons per annum. The point the president made us here there is that it's very crucial for him to set that up. He says it is in line with the vision of the government to ensure that they diversify our mining sector, and they created the environment to ensure that private business or private persons who own businesses can be able to invest and set up such a refinery. So it is the legal framework we have in the country that made it very easy for the private firms to come together to set up that refinery. Just to ensure that the chunk of our gold that we produce, we don't just export them as raw materials, but we're able to add some value to them before we export them, and that will make some more money as a country, which we channel into developmental projects. As I speak to you now, we are currently at Adenta Frapraha, and if you can hear the noise in the background, these are some supporters of the governing NDC. And in some few minutes' time, the president will be commissioning one of the community-based senior high schools here at Adenta Frapraha community.
Thanks to you, and that is colleague Joseph Akabley bringing us an update on the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama there, who is campaigning in the Greater Accra region for the next 3 days. Let's focus on the CPP now, which is also campaigning in the Eastern region. The presidential candidate of the CPP is campaigning in the Eastern region, particularly in Akim-Oda. He's been continuing to preach his party's message of restoring the country's dignity and enriching Ghanaians if the party is elected into power. Today, he's been campaigning in Akim-Oda, where he promised that the CPP government will utilize the natural resources for the greater good of Ghanaians.
We feel that in a wealthy nation such as ours, with so much in terms of resources that God has bequeathed us, we are supposed to be doing far more for our people. And it is because the leaders perhaps have been serving their own self-interest and not the interests of the people of Ghana. That is why we find ourselves in this situation. But it is also a great pleasure for us to be here in this particular town. You know, Akim-Oda is also a very wealthy area, especially in farming and also in cocoa. But one of the particular areas of interest for us as a party, which is also growing in this area, is that of bamboo. As you are aware, I think sometime in 1900, Ghana had about 8.2 million hectares of forest land around the country. And I think as at 2000, that had gone down to only 1.6 million hectares. And the beauty of bamboo as a product is that bamboo grows so quickly. Within a matter of 1 year or 2 years, the bamboo can be fully grown. And as I'm sure you're also aware, bamboo has multiple uses. It can be used as furniture or flooring. It can be used as energy in the form of charcoal. It can be used even now for clothing. If you go to the most expensive shops in New York or London or Paris or even, should I say, Rome, you will find that the softest material is no longer silk or cotton, but the most highest and most expensive clothing they sell is made out of bamboo, the weaving of the material which comes from bamboo. So bamboo now is a worldwide $50 billion industry. And so, whilst in our manifesto, we have made it clear that we will be adding more value to our cocoa, doing more for our cocoa farmers, more for our farmers in general, in particular the areas of maize, corn, groundnut, millet, cassava, our existing crops. We will also try and take advantage of other new kinds of trees and crops.
All right, so just gone past is the flag bearer of the Convention People's Party, Ivor Greenstreet, who's campaigning in the eastern region. And he's been in the Akemoda Township today, which is in the Birim Central Municipal District in the eastern region. Now, he's been talking about the various products that the region produces. It produces cocoa, it produces bamboo, and he says that cocoa is an important part of the Akemoda economy, including plantains and casual plantings along roadsides. Bamboo, he also mentioned, is another useful and fast-growing crop that is grown in that particular area, and also a strong and inexpensive material that can be used for furniture. He says that given the good resources that he outlined, and you heard him there, the CPP, especially in its manifesto, has clearly stated its commitment to add more value to the cocoa and bamboo industries. Let's now go on the lines and speak to Adom FM's Kofi Fori, who is following Nene Akufo-Addo. And as we know, Nene Akufo-Addo began his campaign of the Brong Ahafo region yesterday, and particularly in the Esutufe South constituency. Now, that constituency, you will recall, came in the spotlight following violence or clashes between supporters of the NDC and MPP there during the EC's proxy voting exercise. So we can speak to Kofi Ofori of our sister station, Adom FM, who is following the MPP flag bearers convoy. Good afternoon to you, Kofi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good. So, all right. So, Esutufe South, I mean, as I indicated earlier, that was a hot spot during the EC's proxy voting exercise. I mean, what is the mood there as the MPP leader takes his campaign to the area?
Yeah, Araba, as of now, as I'm speaking with you, we are right now at the room at the Esutufe now, at Esutufe South, as you're saying. And earlier in the morning, we went to Town Forest, where there has been a lot of violence during the registration and so forth. And the attendance was very low, and according to people living in the area, said because of the intimidation going on in the area, they couldn't come because of the problem that they were facing. That was the problem they were facing earlier in the Town Forest. And they said Nana Dankwa has been their prime president that they are expecting, and because of the intimidation, they couldn't even came to meet him, and they thought they were with him in spirit. And Nana went to the Sankore Palace, where he met the Kurantihine of Sankore, Kabiri Jansa the Fourth, and Kabiri Jansa and his chiefs and the other queen mothers also pleaded to Nana that he should help them to, overcome the situation in the area. And Nana Akufo-Addo also accused the government officials in the Asunafo and Asutufe orchestrating violence in the area, and he also called Nananom to also come to, bring calm in order, and also advise the people living in the area, because Ghanaians, we are all one, and we belong to, only this mother Ghana. Nana Akufo-Addo, in his speech, he said he was very sad because of the situation going on in the area, as I've said. And he also, accused the people and the Nananom and also the police and security in the region as of now. They couldn't even do anything concerning the situation in the area. Right now, we are at the Kukum, and Nana is also speaking to the supporters. And now here in Kukum, the supporters have been in their numbers, cheering up to the MPP flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo.
All right.
In the state.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Kofi Ofori of our sister station, Adom FM. He's a correspondent for the Brong Ahafo region. Many thanks for that update. Well, yet another candidate who is hot on the heels of the two major candidates and has been giving them a run for their money in terms of campaigning is the presidential candidate of the PPP, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom. He's been touring the three regions of the north, where he told residents there to turn their anger into frustration and vote the major parties out of office. Well, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom has been touring the three regions of the north, the Upper West, the Upper East, and the Northern region. And he's been calling on the people to call President Mahama and their representative of Ghana's parliament to vote them out, actually, for woefully failing them. So he's also been speaking at a rally in Navrongo in the Upper East region. And he said that Ghana, in its current state, needs help. And it's only the PPP, that's his party, that can provide that. He told the people that the region, that's the Upper East region, is the second poorest in Ghana, despite the numerous resources nature has put there, and recognize the fact that the people there are hardworking people, but that poor leadership by the incumbent NDC administration has not brought them any help. Dr. Indom also mentioned that the three regions of the north have bad roads, deprived or no schools at all, no potable water in most parts, and lack jobs, and therefore they should vote for change and bring in a PPP administration. All right, so now let's move on. And the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Asay, is the worst mistake ever to happen to Ghana. Wait a minute, before you think that that is my description of her, think again. It is not. That's the description given to the EC chair by flag bearer of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayaraga, after he was rejected a second time by the election management body to contest in the presidential race. Well, Mr. Ayaraga has been addressing a news conference today. Here are excerpts.
We finished everything by 3 o'clock. We bussed all the people from within and outside this region, those who were affected, to come to this office overnight, and they came and endorsed all these documents. And the General Secretary, Mr. Razak Opoku, and the National Youth Organizer, Mr. Modikaya, took these documents as at 3:30 p.m. to the Electoral Commissioner. And they got there, they were sitting on a round table like this. They submitted the documents to her, and she said they shouldn't come. They should wait. It's not their turn. If she wants to call them, she'll call them. They should wait until when she calls them, then they come. They said, no. We came before any other person, and we must be received. She said, no. They should go back. She shouted on her top of her voice. This gentleman insisted on their right. Ahmadu Sule intervened and said, allow them. Just allow them because they are here. You cannot push them away because they came. That was around 3:30 to 3:35. They submitted the document to her. She got angry and threw the letter at them. Threw it at them. They should go. You have insulted her. And this is an insult. And that she will not attend to them. They should go. She took the document. They said, no. We have 2 hours before the end of nominations period. Check the documents. And if you have any reasons or any abnormalities, tell us to make the correction because we were within the period. She said, no, everything is okay. They should just go and that they will hear from us. We actually heard from them. But whether what we heard from them was the right thing or the wrong thing is the reason why we are here today. Ghana belongs to all of us. And if people have to use their personal issues to qualify and disqualify others, I am sure there wouldn't have been jobs for anybody in this country to get or to secure. The attitude of the EC boss is not the attitude of an electoral commissioner. The attitude of the EC boss is an attitude of a tyrant who is not fit to occupy any position in this country, not alone the Electoral Commission. We have provided documents, evidence enough to show you that the APC qualified to contest this 2016 general elections, but the EC's boss on her own capacity decided to disqualify us, not based on technical knockout, but based on personal knockout. You recall.
And that is flag bearer of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga there. Now, a civil society organization, the International Republican Institute, has advocated strict sanctions against hate speech in the country, especially against women who are running for public office. In the lead up to the elections, the stakes are obviously high and politicians continue to exchange words in various tones. There's, however, concern about unfair attacks on women. From the Chief Justice to the Electoral Commission chairperson, there are many women in the country who have been verbally attacked for various reasons. Wife of the MPP running mate, Dr. Samira Baumia, was recently described as a bad wife for suggesting on a campaign platform that the president was an incompetent leader. Well, the International Republican Institute is in Ghana to assess the environment prior to the December elections. Here's a member of the institute.
It was one of our findings that a lot of people did mention that they find that women don't vote for women, but it's not a finding that it's a finding that I'm ashamed to talk of. And all women should be ashamed that it repeatedly comes up that women do not vote for women. Are we not ashamed to be even saying it amongst men? But I feel that you shouldn't vote for a woman just because she's a woman. You should vote for the candidate that is capable of delivering, whether it is a man or it is a woman. Just because a woman is standing, then doesn't mean that we have to encourage and say, oh, just go vote for her because she's a woman. What if she doesn't deliver? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter across gender lines. It shouldn't matter across religious lines. It shouldn't matter across ethical lines.
I do not think that attitude and character are conditions for running for public office. Trump was as nasty as anybody you could ever think. And nobody, if it was a woman who did that, I'm sorry to use that as an example, but please, women, let's stop doing this to ourselves. Everybody can be angry, everybody can be nasty, everybody can be kind, everybody can be tender. It is not the exclusive responsibility of a woman to be nice. So let us.
And speaking of international organizations, the European Union has been addressing journalists in Accra today on plans to observe the upcoming polls. Here is a member of the delegation speaking to Joy News earlier.
The long-term observation teams are out in the different regions in the country, at least one team in each region, and they have already started their observation activities.
I'm glad you said you've already started. What have been their assessments so far?
What we could do preliminarily, of course, is evaluating or at least scrutinizing the legal framework, and we're fully satisfied that the legal framework conforms to all the international standards that are important benchmarks. So as long as the elections are held according to the law in Ghana, this should be absolutely satisfactory.
Is there anything from our past elections in your recommendations prior to this one we're about to have that you are critically going to look at for these elections?
The most important elements are issues of transparency. We believe that transparency at every stage of the election process, not just at the polling day, is one of the most important safeguards. This is one of the best guarantees for the acceptance of the results and therefore for a peaceful resolution to political conflict through the ballot box. So we have all sorts of transparency recommendations. Some of them are easily are easy to carry out. Some others would require, for example, legal action, and of course every country is different in how legislation can be brought about in that. So,
and are you embedded with any of the observer missions in the country currently?
This is an independent observation mission. We do our own logistics, for example. We do our own liaison with the administrative authorities at every level. So no, we're not embedded in it with any other team.
Now, it was an election that the world watched keenly to observe to see who would emerge the winner, and Donald Trump emerged the winner. And it was characterized by, divisiveness and all sorts of rancorous speeches, hate speeches. But now the search begins for the men and women who will be taking over the running of the United States of America as President-elect Donald Trump prepares to name his cabinet. He's going to hit the ground running, so we can be sure to wait. Within a couple of days, the full list of his cabinet will come out. But that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in throughout this week. I'm Arba Kumsin.